89 people die in the United States every day due to gun violence. The proposition side of this debate that believes that this can be resolved through gun control and restricting the use of guns. Not entirely, but to the point where this violence could almost be reduced to a number of zero. Now, obviously, we can't exactly eliminate the use of guns in the United States, but we can make it go down tremendously by restricting the use of guns that have a barrel longer than 30 centimeters long. Almost all fully automatic guns, restricting the amount of ammo you can own and purchase at once, and the restrictions and more rules towards those who have a mental disability. The reason I say that we should restrict guns with a barrel over 30 centimeters is because, first of all, most of these shootings have been committed with these guns and have different forms of rifles, fully automatics, and various types of handhelds. Please sit down. An example of these shootings is the Columbine High School shooting in 1999 that was committed by Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. Both of these perpetrators had guns well over 30-centimeter barrels. The result of this was having firearms that caused 15 deaths and 21 non-fatal injuries. Because of these guns, they were all able to do this in under just a little of an hour. Now, this shooting also leads to my next point. Many of these shootings, like Columbine, they all usually been factored by mental illness or types of depression and bullying. Both Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold had some form of schizophrenia, which had causes individuals to interpret reality in a different way. The shooter of Sandy Hook, Adam Lanza, had Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism that caused them to have feelings of anger, aggression, and depression. Yes.
If you notice, all the shootings you've mentioned and reported are the shooters. They have mental disabilities, and do you know the way they obtain those guns? Most shootings, mass shootings, they obtain their guns illegally, and they aren't purchased.
Well, I'm saying that these mental disabilities also, when they attain the guns, they are able to do this, I guess, easier. But as most of you can tell, there's a pattern going on here. We need to do something with these people, but we need to be more careful about who they are selling these weapons to, with better background checks and health records.
Universal background checks would be unnecessary and would violate our Second Amendment rights, and they would be ineffective and not worth the financial cost. The Second Amendment states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state and the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And what that means is all American citizens can have firearms for the security of their state and themselves. So with that being said, I believe making gun control laws forcing universal background checks would be unnecessary and unconstitutional. The defense may say it will prevent all mass shootings, but it won't. More than 80% of mass shootings, the shooter obtains the guns illegally, such as breaking into a house or robbing the store. And if they say you should stop selling guns, that wouldn't help also, because Mexico, they have one gun store in the whole country and is in a military base, and you can buy one gun a year. But still, Mexico has a higher shooting death rate than America. So, and the whole gun show loop, where all mass shooters get their guns from gun shows, is false. Even gun shows, you still have to have a normal background check from the ATF and FBI. And according to the Washington Post, most non-gun-free zones, mass shootings were stopped by armed civilians, not police armed civilians like you and me. Like the proposition stated, the Uber driver in the Chicago shooting at people, but they didn't mention that an armed taxi driver ended the shooting by fire at the Uber driver and waited for the authorities. So if these laws were put in place, many more people would have died, and it would deny the safety of us and our peers. Also, in addition to my previous points, the financial cost of all of this is tremendous. According to the Weekly Standard, if new gun control acts were in place, they could cost at least $4 billion, with the cost of a whole new background checking database, which if breached could have access to everyone's criminal, mental, and physical history, which is a brief with our privacy. With all that being said, that is why I believe that this is unconstitutional and shouldn't be in place.